Christian nationalist, super far right-wing guy who is pretty much hiding. You know, he's trying to hide in plain sight. He seems like he's got. If this guy is your platonic ideal of a manly male, I don't understand. I have no idea why he advocates for some of the things he does. I mean, I think it's a cope. This is him bitching right now, not over gender stuff, which is usually what he's got going on, but Satan worship. Iowa State Capitol allows Satan worship, which is fine. It's protected under the First Amendment.
If you happen to be in Iowa this week, you can catch a satanic altar put up on display at the Iowa State Capitol. This was put up by the Satanic Temple. The co-founder of the Satanic Temple says this is a symbol of the Satanists' right to religious freedom.
Fuck yeah. I agree. Yep, this is religious freedom through and through. They need to keep doing this all the time. Absolutely.
Of course, Satanism is not entitled to any rights whatsoever, and the Founding Fathers certainly wouldn't have thought so. And
entitled to any rights? It's a religion, my dude. Who's to say Satanism isn't a real religion? Are you saying that my dedication to the Dark Lord isn't real? I'm not a Satanist, actually. It actually is a real religion, though. They have churches and stuff.
And no one, even the great defenders of religious freedom, not so long ago, would have ever defended this. But this is now what religious.
What do you mean would have ever defended this? I would love to know what makes this an illegitimate religion. I would love to understand the illegitimacy of this religion and how none of that reflects upon Christianity.
Freedom is taken to mean that you can have a symbol of Baphomet or the devil on display, and you have a right to that in a government building.
Yes, you have a right to that in a government building.
Founder of the Satanic Temple says, we're going to really relish the opportunity to be represented in a public forum. We don't have a church on every street corner. My feeling is that if people don't like our display in public forums, they don't have to engage with them. They don't have to view them.
Agreed.
Okay. If you're a normal person, you probably have a problem with this. Now, some of you might not. Some of you might say, oh, whatever, it's dumb. Person, you probably have a problem with this.
A problem with this? Pussy. You shouldn't have a problem. This is a butthole. Like I said this last time. Every time I look at this, I see a butthole. This is my Rorschach test. Lily loves stuff. Thanks for the 41 months. Looks like a brown eye, dude. It's like puckered, and then it has brown on the outside. I don't know. I think you're trying to make me think of buttholes, personally. Actual Jake prayer. Hail Satan. That's right. Hail Satan. Satan's not real, man. All your religions are fake. But this is exactly the same amount of freedom that every religion should get. If you're offended by this, tough beans, little guy. Get tough, I guess.
Now, some of you might not. Some of you might say, oh, whatever, it's dumb, it's silly. The Satanic Temple, they're just a bunch of edgy Reddit tier atheists anyway. Who cares what they want to do? I don't like it. I don't want my...
Why is it always Reddit atheists? They're so... Oh, you're a Reddit atheist? I've never used Reddit in my life, bro. You're just coping. These Reddit atheists. We need to, like... flip the script on that in some way. I don't know. Like, it just doesn't affect me. It's not a quality rebuttal. You're a fucking coward if that's what you go to. If you're like, oh my god, another Reddit atheist. No, you have delusions. I'm going to say it again. By the way, there was a study that came out. Sarah, do you have the link to that that we were talking about the other day? There's a study that just came out that describes. There was a video, I think. It was a TikTok, probably, actually. I don't know if there's actually... Do we have a link to the study? A study just came out. We'll find it. That showed a measurable negative decline in people's cognitive functioning. A distinct line drawn between religious belief and a decline in cognitive functioning. I didn't make that up. This is a real study that came out. And it says one of two things, neither are great for religious believers. Number one, which I do not agree with, is that people with low cognitive functions swarm to religion like moth to a flame, which doesn't seem intuitively true considering the other option that they are more likely to side with is that it makes you stop critically thinking. There's some terms that were used in the video that I really liked, which I forget what they were, like critical thinking blockers or something like that. I don't know. Just pathways of thinking that are literally taught to you during the indoctrination process of Christianity, that you're taught to stop critically thinking about things. It's why they get such emotional attachments to talking about, like, well, my religion makes me feel really good. You'll even see people that leave those religions still have a soft spot for their own religious belief and say, well, I'm a pagan. I've had, when I pray, I feel the green goddess rain down upon me. Like, would you accept that argument from a Christian? Thought terminating cliches? Maybe. There's too many studies on this to find a specific one. Thought stopping mechanisms. Yeah. That's what it was. But anyway, we should watch some deconversion stuff. Some conversations that former religious people had. In fact, I would love to have conversations with former religious people about their experiences, because I think it's very fascinating. If you were in a cult, or if you were in if you were deep into your religion at any point, that'd be interesting to talk about.
My country to exalt satanic symbols. I think that's bad. I don't want shrines to say...
Especially if you're still in that deconversion.
In my government building.
We are out of mozzarella, but we are not out of Romano.
I think that's a bad thing to do and doesn't speak very well of our country, and I want it out, and I want to ban it. And
oh, you want to ban Satanism? This might convert me, bro.
This would not be a new ban. This would be reinstating a ban that existed for the entire history of our country until approximately 5 minutes ago.
When was Satanism unbanned? Satanism. Legal recognition. Boop. In 2004, it was claimed that Satanism was allowed in the Royal Navy of British Armed Forces despite opposition from Christians who are big pussies and do not like freedom of speech or expression. In 2005, the Supreme Court of the United States, a corrupt group of people, debated in the case of Carter versus Wilkinson over protecting minority religious rights of prison inmates in a lawsuit challenging the issue was filed for them. The court ruled that facilities that accept federal funds cannot deny prisoners accommodations that are necessary to engage in activities for the practice of their own religious beliefs. In 2019, the Satanic Temple was granted religious IRS 501c3 status. Let's fucking go, dude. I want to run one.
I think
that's why I said I might identify as a Satanist, just to annoy these types of people, literally just to get the protections. Fucking let's go.
That would be good. I think that would be normal and American and right.
I think you're a pussy. I think you are anti-American in this case. We have religious freedom for all religions. All of your kooky ass beliefs, every single one of them. If you can be a Christian and it's not bannable, then neither is Satanism. And I'll stand by that. I don't even fucking believe in that shit. I don't care. Are you fucking kidding me? Michael Knowles should be banned from Earth.
Now, you might look at that and say, well, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. I don't like it. It seems wrong. But hey, religious freedom, right?
Mm-hmm. We have religious freedom.
So then you got to ask the question.
Sure.
If you know this is wrong, but the premises that you have about religion and politics lead you to saying that this is fine, how do you reconcile those things?
Wow. We're starting to get to the nitty-gritty. Well, Michael, the religion that you believe is wrong. That's step one.
One of them is it can't.
I would love to ban Christianity. I would love to ban tax-exempt status from religious institutions, because all you have is a bunch of profiteer shysters running these places. There's a reason all American media is filled with shitty preachers, okay? Like shitty men that run churches. Throughout the history of America, it's a ubiquitous knowledge that we all have. It's an easy fodder it's an easy villain in any story because it's real. Because the realest shit ever, men with power they shouldn't have over a space that doesn't have any legitimacy to it. Surprise. And yeah, I would just ban that. So if it's not profit seeking, if you, without the motive of profit, want to worship Jesus, I don't give a fuck. You're nuts. You're hurting your children. You should not be allowed to, you know, homeschool your kids and do that. In my opinion, I think it's child abuse. But you know, in fact, I think isolating your kids should be banned. I think isolating your kids socially should be banned, unless it's like a medical exemption. Like, I don't know, boy in the bubble, he needs to have a fucking thing. Like, there's so many people who just want their kids to be like just entirely isolated by themselves, and it's just abuse. People do that with their partners. They you know, they isolate their partners, and you know, you can't talk to these sets of people. I mean, the same fucking thing here. They limit information. Why do we allow this in our kids if we can see it as a red flag and a man's doing it or something?
Simultaneously be good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
So which is it? How do you reconcile your natural opposition to Satan statues in our state capitals with religious freedom? You can either say, yeah, bring it on. Bring on the satanic altars. Let's put them in all of our state capitals. Let's bring them to Washington, D.C.
No one's saying that because you can't endorse a state religion. But yeah, if Satanists got very popular and wanted to... If Satanism was the most popular religion on the planet, we would have a better world. That's true, though.
You can either say that. Most of you probably won't think that. Or you can totally throw out religious freedom.
Why totally throw out religious freedom? What? You see what I mean? Like, he literally has to go like, well, no freedoms.
Which some of you might want to do, but it's probably not very practical in America.
Uh-huh.
Or
sure,
there is a third option.
Right, ban specific religions?
The third option is you can circumscribe what religious freedom means, not merely on your own preferences or, you know, a naked political power grab,
but recognized as a religion.
You can set limits on what religious freedom means.
Such as what? He has like 7 minutes to cook this. Let's see what kind of rambling nonsense this turns into. Let's see if this is circular at all, or would exempt Christianity in the process.
Tradition, informed by reason.
Tradition informed by reason. What? There is more evidence for Satanism and Satanists than there are for fucking Christianity being viable. Like, what? Like, Satanists will literally just, like, their Bible, like, agrees with the natural world, and their tenets are be good to each other. Like, what? If you want to limit religious freedom to what you can prove to me, then fucking I'm in, I guess. I'm an atheist and a naturalist, so sure, you can eradicate religion in one fell swoop. Or at least the legality of it. This would exempt Christianity immediately.
You don't need to just pluck it out of thin air or have it be a matter of your own preferences. You can say, look, here's what religious freedom has always meant in America. It's never included opposition to God. It's never
included opposition to God. It's never included atheism. Crazy. You can't be an atheist. Opposition to God. I'm not opposed to God. I don't believe that God exists. If God exists, he can handle his own fight, Michael. Right? Like, imposing fucking religious will on people. That's something I would fight a civil war for. Are you kidding me? Fucking, you see me lighten up churches immediately. Yeah. See, catch me out there. Christo-fascists. Nope.
It's included broad religious toleration for different people who worship God in different ways, but it's never included opposition to God or outright denial of God. That was just really never part of it. And so
yeah, you can eat ass. Your God's not real. You're a fucking coward. I would debate God. Debate God's existence. Can you stop? Can you shut the fuck up? Hey, can I hear the people that tell me to stop being an anti-theist to shut the fuck up? Can you shut the fuck up now? Like, they're outright trying to do Christofascism. Is that not a problem with you? If you have a problem with my anti-theism, you're fucking highly suspicious, liberal ass. What are you, a fucking landlord or something? Fuck. Anti-theism is based, though, Chad. It really is. Goodness gracious. Side fucking eye.
We're not going to allow that. No Satanists, no atheist altars, none of that. We can have a broad amount of religious toleration without saying that you have a freedom from religion or freedom to worship the devil in the state capitol. That's what you can do. Libs should love this. Libs love saying that no right is absolute until they want their Satan statues in the state capitol. Then all of a sudden the rights are absolute. Your First Amendment right's not absolute when you want to talk on a college campus and you're a conservative.
Well, that's true. No right is absolute. Like, you don't take guns into the airport, right? You can't take guns onto the plane. You can't, no right is absolute. That's absolutely true. Actually. We make concessions all the time.
First Amendment right's not absolute.
You literally are making a non-absolute argument right now.
When
he's saying, well, actually, I'm a lib. I agree with them.
Want access to the public square on social media.
They say this, and I agree.
To say your conservative points of view. Your Second Amendment right, oh, that's never absolute. You're only allowed to have a musket. You're this right, you're that right. But, you know, the supposed right never really articulated.
Okay, so it explicitly says no establishment of state religion, which endorsing Christianity and making sure that no one can be a non-believer, that would be endorsing a religion. Like minimum deism, I would argue. Wait, I can't be any form of non-religious? This is enforcement of religion on me. I don't believe it, that shit. You can't make me. Fucking prove it. What are you gonna do? Thought crime me? Eat ass. Let me fight Michael Knowles with a knife. Knife fight. Let's see who wins. That you can here. Knife versus prayers, and we'll see who wins, and then that's how we do it. We do old-fashioned duel. But can you be any type of Christianity? Sure. Knife versus prayers. You don't get to have sex with kids just because your religion says you can, unless you're a Catholic, well, or a Muslim, or I mean, really, all of them. Literally all of them have old men trying to fuck kids.
In American jurisprudence or political philosophy to have a Satan statue. That's the one that is absolute. No, of course not. Of course not. I don't think that the Satan statue falls under any serious conception of freedom.
It absolutely does. Freedom of expression, freedom of religion, freedom of speech. Absolutely. This makes me want to join and be a Satanist. This makes me want to be a fucking Satanist preacher immediately. Wow. So fucking badly.
Or religion. Religion is a habit of virtue that inclines the will to give to God what he deserves. But even if you're a little confused on what freedom and religion mean, how about you?
He's on his cam girl set, by the way. Matt Walsh is 5 feet away on a different set. Isn't that crazy? They're just cam girls.
How about we just avail ourselves of history and reason and tradition? That's what tradition's about.
You're not using reason if you believe in God. There's no reason to believe in a God. These people have childlike brains.
It's not about just blindly giving up your own ability to think and have your own opinions. It's just allowing your opinion to be informed by every other smart person who ever lived. Don't you?
Like Thomas Jefferson is a smart person he thinks lived, right? Or a person he thinks is smart that lived. I think we all agree Thomas Jefferson existed. He ripped the Bible apart to pieces and took all the magic. Like what? What kind of we're not based on this, man. We're based on like racism and capitalism and expansionism and exceptionalism and nationalism. And some of those things just aren't viable, and so the country's changing, dude.
Don't you think
we're going to look back on this as religiosity continues to drop? We're about to see the most non-religious, like most people be non-religious for the first time ever right around the time the boomers start to fall off. Like we're so close to 50-50 right now. Like they're just going to be in the minority by virtue of not being factually true. It's just not real. Your traditions are pointless. Okay? You can still fucking sing Christmas carols, okay? But you don't have to believe Rudolph was real, you know?
Maybe there's a chance that every other smart human being who ever lived for all of history might be able to teach you something that you haven't just figured all of it out better than all of the other smart people. Well, there it is.
I absolutely have figured it out better than all the smart people. I'll say it. If you're not an atheist, you're wrong about that. You're just wrong about it. I'm right about that. You can be right about fucking, I don't know, quantum physics or something. Doubtful, though. You're probably right about, like, how best to use a dump truck or how to fucking balance the books at the car dealership or whatever your fucking normie job is, okay? You're wrong about this. I am, in fact, more correct about the reality of life than a believer. That's not a fucking W for me, though. It's an L for you. I'm neutral. This is not me holding up a big victory and being a big smart boy. This is you being a dumb boy. This isn't... you reflect poorly on the human race, not me reflecting well. I'm not doing anything special by not believing in God. God simply has not provided any evidence. So therefore, God doesn't exist. There's no reason to believe it. You need to get the fuck over that. They can have some sort of truth to their oppression fantasies once they're in the minority. We need to get rid of their tax exemption. That won't be them victimizing, but that'll be the first time they've felt anything like victimization in years. Yeah, I agree.
Welcome to traditionalism.
Rudolph
there it is. Well, you're a conservative. Wonderful, wonderful to have you. We got to talk about these things. When you want to talk, you got to check out Pure Talk.
Wow, cool. We're doing an ad? A Pure Talk ad? Just a minute? Wow, Matt Walsh does 2 minutes sometimes. Kind of slacking. He'll do a whole full 2-minute ad read.
Today. Unfortunately, there's a state representative in Iowa, Representative John Dunwell, who seems like he means well, but you can see him grappling with this conflict between...
I should just be a senator. Apparently, the bar is so fucking low. These people are so stupid.
We don't want to worship the devil in our government buildings, but, we got religious freedom, and he doesn't seem to figure it out. So he has this very, very long post about it on social media, and he vacillates. He says, well, as a follower of Christ, I think this, but as a state representative, I think this, but as a follower of Christ, I think this, but as a... And
Okay, so here's an example of how religious belief cooks your brain out. To have to grapple with the idea of someone putting an altar to Satan who doesn't exist somewhere and anywhere. Who cares? It's a deep... I have to grapple so deeply with this concept. You're fucking weird. You're a fucking weird person to me.
It's so long. I didn't even read the whole thing because he's just twisting himself into knots. The first error is to think that you can actually separate yourself into little compartments. You can't. You can recognize that you have certain duties and certain circumstances, but to suggest that you are multiple different people and you can totally divorce your moral views from your political life is just completely insane, Paul.
Right, which is why you have to agree that you're an authoritarian. You're a Christo-fascist. He's just a fascist. He must agree with that. Because that's where his ideology lives. That's what all the things he says and advocates for is a fascist society.
Politics is how we all get along together, and all laws legislate morality. So here's what he says. He says,
not to fucking worship ball-peen hammers.
My response to the Satan statue as a follower of Christ, my response as a state representative, my observations and response as an Iowan state representative and pastor. As a follower of Christ, I certainly find a display from the Satanic Temple objectionable. It stands in direct opposition to my faith and would be classified as evil.
Whoa, evil. If you think that this is evil, you're fucking weird, dude. It's like candles in a robe and a mirror mask of a goat. You guys are so fucking strange. Evil. Does this spook? If this spooks you, you need to get checked. This is crazy to be spooked by. I mean, this is the same guy that'll be like, bombing Gaza's good. This is bad.
Not a new experience for me or my family. The Word of God continually warns about the dangers in our world. In fairness, many other religions or non-religious people have the same perspective about Christianity. Put a pause right there. Yeah, they do. They're wrong. They're wrong.
What's wrong about it?
You say,
bring it up.
X is good, Y is evil.
X is good, Y is evil. Satan is evil, right? To a Christian. Yeah, I agree that Christians are dum-dums, Michael. I agree that it makes them do cognitively dissonant things. True. They're like, but I live in a secular reality. How will my Christianity come into play? How come this keeps bumping into my reality? Because it's not true. Why is there so much friction between my religious belief and my experience? Huh. Who's to say? Maybe Papa Jake has an opinion. Why are we oscillating so many viewers? Are you all refreshing too much?
Other people.
It keeps going crazy.
Will say Y is good, X is evil. One of you is right, and you can't just shrug your shoulders. One of you has to be right.
What? There's a third option, Michael. Neither of you are good nor evil. Like, God isn't good or evil. Satan isn't good or evil. Neither of them exist. You can make effigies to them forever. That's the real answer. One must be right.
Because you're going to live together and you're going to enshrine good things in the law and you're going to prohibit bad things in the law too. That's what law does. So you can't just say, well, look, my perspective, right. Where does your perspective come from? Is it completely uninformed? It's just a reflex of your mind, a contortion, a gesticulation. It's not informed by reason. No, it's informed by reason. You think it's true. And so
What's informed by reason? Your religious belief is informed by reason? Wow. I still haven't... There's air quotes, atheists that say, yes, a religious person arrives to their religious conclusions with reason. And you're not being reasonable when you are not considering real facts. You're being lied to and you're considering untrue things. It's like saying that like a flat earther is being reasonable because the evidence he's seeing is describing flat earth because someone has made evidence to say this is flat. It's like, nope, that's not what reasonableness is. Like, I think you mean like deduction or something because he has the evidence given to him. He has deduced this. Sure, I guess he's deduced with his non-reasonable deduction. Sure.
You're going to broadly follow that. Yeah, it's a good idea. It says, my observation as an Iowan and a state representative, I don't want the state evaluating and making determinations about religions. I'm guided by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. First of all, are you? I don't know. The First Amendment was never understood to enshrine Satanism. So I'm not sure.
Enshrine Satanism? Correct. It would never enshrine Satanism. To allow it legal representation, or, like they can be Satanists. Like, absolutely.
I'm not sure that you are. You're enshrined by a liberal revisionist view of the First Amendment. But here's a more basic question to Representative Dunwell, and I don't mean to single him out. A lot of people think like this. Are you a Christian first or a liberal first?
Or a Christian first, or do you prioritize the laws and constitution of reality in the country I live in or my delusion? Which one? Which one, Western man?
I mean a lowercase L liberal. I mean the classical liberal. I mean whatever good kind of liberal you can think of. What are you first? Are you a Christian or that? Do you serve God first, or do you serve some political ideology called liberalism?
The Constitution? I agree that the Constitution is stupid, but not for the reasons that Michael Knowles does. I actually think the freedom of speech clause is pretty good. I mean, at the time of its inception, it didn't imply that included people of color and women and stuff. But like, it doesn't use the word men there. I think this is people. The good liberal. Yeah.
Which is it? When they come into conflict. Man cannot serve two masters. Which is it?
None masters, please. You're all cucks.
Not hard for me.
I
talk to Christians. I talk to religious Jews. I talk to Muslims. There's broad agreement.
Who do you serve?
I think.
Who do you serve?
Among people on broadly how to serve God in public life and how to have a good society.
You don't believe in the same God, man.
I don't think the same can be said of liberal. Look what liberalism's done.
What?
It's alienated people from their society. It's led to
liberals. Did the liberals do it?
To a kind of skepticism where even a guy who calls himself a Christian pastor says, well, I don't know, some people think Christianity is evil, so the state needs to lay off it. I mean,
some people do think Christianity is evil. That's true. I agree with that. Taking the advice. Did you preheat the oven first? Good.
The man's this is a politician.
The big potato will go.
Very sad.
Go hard.
Very, very sad. I've heard liberalism described. A liberal is one who
420 for 50 to 55 minutes. Let's go.
Who cannot take his own side in an argument. Bill Buckley said it very well. He said, skepticism has utility only when it leads to conviction. So what's the conviction? What do we believe? What is it? What do you actually believe? Man, what a great clip that was now.
Wow, that's a great clip. Yeah, so Christians, I mean, just, again, not the best at thinking about anything. This is going to be my legacy. I'm going to be the atheist guy because everyone else is a pussy and wants to live in a world with fucking crazies, and I don't get it. There are just no reasons at all to consider Christian belief normal or Christian fascists reasonable. There's no reason to. We need to be more anti-theist every day. This is stupid. I mean, it's just like it's deeply gaslighting. I say this a lot. It's deeply gaslighting to have to live with people that are just every day observing a delusional belief that they were fed as a child, essentially, and that they've never. It just makes them a bad person. It makes them worse. The only reason a lot of them are transphobic or homophobic or capitalists or Republicans is because they're Christians. If you got rid of Christianity overnight, just snap your fingers. If you got rid of Abrahamic religions and snapped your fingers overnight, the world would be a better place. And that's not. I mean, you're not going to be able to do that. I'm just saying, like, all those people were just secular overnight. It wouldn't be perfect. You'd still have problems. You'd still have patriarchy, and probably you'd still have capitalism right now. You'd still have all these things. But a lot of the these are all strengthened by this belief. And certainly, I mean, conservatism, modern conservatism, is deeply rooted in Christian faith. Yeah, Jake becoming TJ arc. TJ's wrong about a lot of stuff. I've been an anti-theist for I don't know, fucking 15 years.